what I'd like us to do now is sit comfortably in your chairs. I want to measure your respiration rates. Now there is a measurement validation problem here in that I wish to determine, as a consequence of the respiration rate, as a consequence of the meditation, whether your respiration rate has gone down or not in about 21 minutes. That's the question that I'm asking myself. So if you didn't count the respiration rate correctly, or you forgot what you counted, or and so on, then the results will be suspect, right? So as far as one cycle is you inhale and exhale, that's one cycle. I've got a stopwatch, and when I say start, put your hands flat on your knees without your knees crossed. And when I say start counting. This is normal breathing, just like you breathe all the time. And when I say stop, but then mentally note what your respiration rate was, how many cycles. Okay? And then we will do the meditation part. In 21 minutes, I'll ask you the same question again. And then I'll ask you for how many of you the respiration rate went up, for how many of you the respiration rate went down, and for how many of you the respiration rate remained the same. Now I've got a little video of Einstein traveling in a speed bus, which I don't know that I will get a time to show, but he's traveling in a speed bus. Speed bus travels at the speed of light, near the speed of light. It's one of his thought experiments. So he realizes at the speed of light, the time for him stops. So as a consequence, he quits growing old, So that's what led to this twin paradox, where one of the twin goes into space, the other twin remains on Earth when the guy goes into space at the speed of light. Again, it's a thought experiment. So when he comes back to the planet Earth, he finds that the twin that stayed on Earth has grown much, much older than he. So you know that animals that have very high, doctors are here, they can please correct me. Several doctors, I will introduce you guys in a few minutes. Is it true that animals that have very high respiration rates, they have a shorter lifespan? Yes or no? Is the converse true, that animals and beings that have very low respiration rate have a longer time span? We got a lot of data on that, and I'm not finding any exception to that. So if I were to ask you, is if by the time you take your last breath, this is how many breaths you have taken, and you naturally take fewer breaths in that amount of time, you got some more time to live? Okay. So we'll see. We'll let the data speak for itself, right? Start. Close your eyes, it helps. So, why are we meditating? What the heck is going on here? We don't have anything better to do? How many components of the mindset? How many components of the mindset? S, R, and T. Minimum amount of SRT required for life. The revered ones are at the top on the level of consciousness, SRT scale. The wicked ones are toward the bottom, and the rest of us somewhere in the middle. And our objective is to go in which direction? Up. So I have yet to prove to you that meditation is a tool to get there. What I have shown you, though, that your DNA knows things that you yourself are not aware of. Remember those videos that the guy was watching and the DNA was responding X 180 miles away instantaneously without a time lag? Remember how the strands of DNA were expanding with positive emotions, loving, kindness, empathy, compassion? and resentment, hatred, and all of that, causing the DNA to wind up. So we are getting there, but we now need to connect the dots and say that and show that meditation is the way to go up. It's not exactly intuitive, At least it wasn't to me. So in any event, there are many, many ways of meditation. And I certainly am no expert on the various methods of meditation. So let's be content with knowing just one. And it's very, very simple. Think of, and I'm going to give you what I would even refer to as a mantra. Mantra is nothing but a word that you repeat over and over and over again. You need not associate any other meaning to it for now. So your mantra is, let's say, chin chin. Does chin chin remind you of something? It does. If it does, I'm kind of in a trouble. So select your own short syllable word, chan chan, I don't care what. So what you want to do is to keep repeating this in your mind. I'm going to say loud, but in your mind, I'm not hearing you. In your mind, over and over and over. So imagine that this is the amplitude of what you are saying. So you are continuously repeating chin chin, chin chin, chin chin, like that. And in fact, you are repeating in a way that's almost illegible. Illegible is reading. Yeah, inaudible, what's the word? Not audible. It's not clear, because you're saying this in your mind, but it's like fuzzy. you can't quite make out what you're saying, you yourself. All right. So you're saying this, and the amplitude of your voice inside is like this, and your objective is to merely keep on repeating this mantra. Will you have thoughts in your mind when you're doing this? No human being can say no, as far as I know. Please don't fight those thoughts. Empty number of people tell me that I have trouble meditating because they are trying to fight their thoughts. You forget about the thoughts. They will come. If I say something wrong, please tell me. Don't fight the thoughts. Let them come like this. They will go. Now, when you do have a thought in your mind, you'll become aware of it, right? Once you become aware of it, simply drop it. And what will you do when you drop it? Go back to your mantra. You do this over and over and over. What you will find is that the amplitude of the mantra, of the sound in your mind, is going like this, like this, like this, in about 10, 12, 15, 12 minutes, something like that. There is nothing there. Now you have a thoughtless state. Now, you can't run a marathon, when you just begun to walk. Clearly, we don't expect us to be experts on day number one. But I'm confident that, and he's monitoring the energy, and I can't fool the data. And we'll see how much progress you guys have made, And that has reflection on both your ability to do things and my ability to teach, So I'm also in trouble if you didn't learn. Is it clear? All right. Please close your eyes, uncross your legs, and again the hands, palms down. Then you can start. Stop. Gradually open your eyes. Please tell me by a show of hands for how many of you the respiration rate went down. Those of you who are sitting in the front row, look back. Leave your hands up. That's what, 90% of you? That's how powerful this stuff is. And by now I have conducted this program in the Parliament of Lima, Parliament of Peru in Lima, National Chemical Laboratory in Pune, Purdue University in Lafayette, Indiana,